Hi guys, and welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about a case that consists of 512 pounds of actual liquid meth, and the mistakes that were made by the actual person actually moving this actual type of actual. It's actually hazmat. It's actually hazardous material, so it should have been classified as that. And so there's two guys driving in Texas, and they get pulled over for a traffic infraction. That could be a tail light, that could be a cracked windshield, that could be speeding, not using your signal. It could be anything that a regular patrol unit could pull you over for. So they pulled over this actual vehicle, and there's two gentlemen inside the actual car, and the driver has a prior drug conviction. Now, that's one thing you never want to do, is have that driver actually, or the passenger, have any kind of drug conviction when you're moving this type of actual weight. Because in certain states, but I looked up at Texas and doesn't really specify on uh, giving up your rights, but California does have that actual waiver. If you are a felon or drug conviction, you can actually void your actual rights to search. But to be honest with you, it does not matter. If that driver has a prior drug conviction, it might have been a long time ago. He might be off paper. He might still be on probation or parole. Uh, that cop is going to actually look into your vehicle more thoroughly. He's going to um, actually insist of actually you letting them actual conduct this type of actual search. And once you've got that actual conviction for drug conviction, you're pretty much you have no rights, because of the fact that you have something illegal in the car. They can call for a canine. That's fine. I've actually was threatened with actually the police. I was waiting for somebody at a trolley station, and just waiting for them. And I was in my vehicle, and they decided to call the cops on me and state that it was suspicious for waiting for somebody at a public transportation transit station. So I told them, go ahead, call the canine, but you are not searching my vehicle. Call the canine. And as I was waiting, and they kept pushing off excuses saying, it's on its way, he's in traffic. When is a canine ever in traffic? Come on. You're going to a call and you're going to be in traffic? Yeah, nice try, you know what I mean? So for this actual individual to be maneuvering this actual vehicle, that should have never been allowed. The other passenger did not have any kind of record, but he was a Mexican national, so maybe he did not have a license. Maybe he did not have uh, permission to actually handle that actual vehicle. So when you're actually going to move this type of weight, you have to cover your end at all ends. Okay, you have to make sure that the vehicle is at 100%, and that's including fluids, tail lights, front, anything that can be an excuse for them to pull you over. You have to take that extra precaution. You're talking about 512 pounds of actual liquid meth. So when they actually supposedly um, are allowed to actually search this actual vehicle, they have consent now. They discovered 10 jugs of liquid meth, over 37,000 in cash in the vehicle, and it's determined that that actual liquid meth has a value of 1.8 million in the streets. So how are you going to actually hide 10 jugs, you know? And I'm telling you guys right now, they're treating every stop as a felony stop. I've been the victim of that for wearing earpods. For wearing earpods, I was a victim of. They didn't even see me wearing the earpods because there was no way. I know there was no way. But I made a video about that. It's called Place of Business. But yeah, it's pretty disgusting. You know what I mean? And these were young actual. The ones that pulled me over, they were actually young actual deputies. And I told them how I felt. I told them how I felt, and was totally uncalled for. For earpods. So you got to make sure that the vehicle is at 100%, and you have to make sure that nobody in that actual vehicle has any kind of prior drug convictions, or else you're just asking for them to actually find it, you know? And so they eventually find this actual um, substance. And so after they actually do the arrest and everything, they check the actual driver's home, and they find evidence to this actual crime, and they find that the passenger actually assisted the driver. They found evidence at the home that he actually assisted the driver in his trafficking and transportation of this narcotic. So um, you begin when they're actually placing you in handcuffs. It's rare if they're ever going to take them off until they get to wherever they're going to book you. But never try to resist. Don't give them another excuse to rough you up. And it's rare if you're going to change somebody's actual mind to take the handcuffs off. And I know it's your first reaction, it's your first instinct to actually question why they're putting you, and you turn around, that you're just giving them an excuse to drop you on the floor and hurt you. And if they have body cams, that's even better, because they're going to see that you actually challenged them, you turned around. And just avoid that. Avoid that. Do not answer any questions or make any statements. These cops will not respect your Miranda rights, and they're going to ask you questions. They're going to ask you this and that, and they're going to claim that it's going to be your last chance to actually make a statement to them. No, it's not. No, it's not. You actually have to actually conduct it through a lawyer. And most importantly, always plea of not guilty. Always enter that actual plea of not guilty, for the fact that don't make it easy for them. Don't make it easy for them, and make them actually do their work. If you actually are allotted bail or release on your own reconnaissance, do not go to social media and post any kind of information about actually just stay away from social media, because the prosecutors do monitor that. Um, and I have a lawsuit story coming on with good examples of actually how social media uh, lost a case for a victim. I mean, for an accident victim. And so stay away from social media. The prosecutors do follow you on that platform. Trust me. There's no warrant actually needed. It's all public knowledge. So no, do not ever post anything about any kind of case on your actual on your any kind of social media page. And um, and if if you were to actually delay the actual uh, situation by waiting for some kind of canine, or do that for the fact that eventually a supervisor is going to show up, and he can decide a different outcome to your situation. he might have did something, and the actual initial officer might have done an actual step that he made a mistake on, and the actual supervisor will actually catch that and it can be dismissed. Just be aware of that. Don't ever admit to anything. Um, yeah, all you gotta do is be quiet, and they're going to uh, belittle you. They're gonna do. They're gonna be kind of like how do you say kind of like taunting you, especially detectives. But always ask for a lawyer. They're not the actual people who are going to have the last word with you, okay? They're not the court, they're not the judge. And always keep quiet. So just be aware of this, and just um be well known around your surrounding, because especially if you're not doing anything illegally, that's even um more of the actual issue for these actual cops, because they don't have the right to search you, just to run your name through the actual background check. But trust me, keep quiet and just keep it moving. And these guys are going to get anywhere from 15 to life, because that was a lot of actual poison. That's actually a lot of hazmat, and yeah, it's just the way it is. And it was a lot of actual, a lot of liquid, a lot of liquid. And I mean, what else can you say? There was mistakes made on both ends, and both whoever's distributing it and whoever's had that vehicle. Okay, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks a lot.